And worst of all, with their open borders and bad elections, they have made us into a third world nation, something which nobody thought was even possible. Americans deserve a campaign based on the issues. We try and keep it on the issues.
As we can see in that clip, Donald Trump not only lying about his campaign, saying that he only wants to keep it on the issues, but also showing how poorly his campaign is run, that he's not in Michigan tonight, not in Nevada, not in Wisconsin or North Carolina, where Kamala Harris is expanding the map. No, Donald Trump is in New York campaigning for some reason, and that will be important later in this video, so make sure to stick around. But as we come to expect, at this point, Donald Trump is losing his mind, and yet another rambling rally. And this time we saw Donald Trump have what was a pretty unhinged moment of cognitive failure, but it wasn't just that. He also mocked a member of his family. He mocked Melania in a way that is just so funny, that this is what his campaign has come to. And we are going to check all of that out. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, it really goes a long way in supporting our channel. Now let's get into this first really deranged clip from Trump.
And God has now spared my life. It must have been God. Thank you. Not once, but twice. And there are those that say he did it because Trump is going to turn this state around. He's going to turn this country around. He's going to make America great again.
It is so strange as a man who clearly thinks of himself as God in Donald Trump to be talking about God sparing him from assassination. And I want to bring up a little bit of a gripe here. Didn't Trump say at the RNC that he would never talk about his assassination attempt again? Was that, can we just, I guess, add that to the list of many lies? And he continues to talk about it in such a Dr. Strange way, saying that people have converted. They have become followers of certain religions because Donald Trump was spared. It's just the most narcissistic thing he could possibly be talking about. And it seems like he thinks that he is God. And yeah, Donald, I hate to break it to you, that's not the situation. But again, these rallies continue to get out of control, and we see that in a really strange clip right here.
But the message is, it's time to stop the lies, stop the hoaxes, stop the smears, stop the lawfare and the fake lawsuits against me, and stop claiming your opponents will turn America into a dictatorship. Give me a break. Because the fact is that I'm not a threat to democracy, they are.
I always talk about how hypocrisy is baked into the MAGA movement, and especially being a Trump. If you want to be a member of the Trump family, you have to not only lie, but then you have to be a complete hypocrite. And Donald Trump right there, a perfect example, saying that Democrats have to stop calling out his actual attacks on our democracy, the threat that he is to our country as a whole, because that is damaging or politically divisive language, when in fact it's just true. But then in the same breath, seconds after, says Kamala Harris is the one who's a threat to democracy. We can't say it when it's true, but he can say it when it's a lie. If that isn't MAGA wrapped up so perfectly in a bizarre bow, I don't know what else is. And like I said, the state of New York, important in this meltdown from Donald Trump tonight. And you will see that in this moment, right here.
And the reason I'm here is because it hasn't been done in many decades. It hasn't been done for a long time, but we are going to win New York.
This is going to be the first time that I support a decision of Donald Trump's. If you want to invest in New York because you think you can win it, go ahead, be my guest. I'd love to see you try. Spend all of your time here. But the headquarters, right in NYC, the people here love you, Donald. I promise it's going to be great. It's a great idea, DB, all of your money into New York. Again, Kamala Harris is expanding the map. She's not just in the battleground states. She's making more battleground states because her message is so compelling. And Donald Trump is somehow focused on winning New York when I don't think you'll be winning Nevada. You won't be winning Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia. So I think that one may be a little bit out of grasp, but it is clear, like I said earlier, Donald Trump absolutely losing it. And that comes out in his moments of cognitive decline, which were clear here when he was talking about Kamala Harris not as vice president, but it seems like he thinks that she has a different role in our government. We just got to check it out.
Who, by the way, was just rated by far the most liberal senator in the U.S. Senate, more so even further left than Bernie Sanders and Pocahontas.
If Donald Trump doesn't know that Kamala Harris is the vice president of the United States. I think that means he can't be president of the United States. And as we talk about Donald Trump's cognitive decline, that is incredibly clear on this show. I always bring up the fact that it seems like in these moments, it is always Trump focusing on the past. He thinks it's still 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20. And so he's attacking Senator Kamala Harris, saying she's one of the most radical senators because he's still caught up in that time. It's why he's still attacking President Biden. It's still why he attacks Hillary Clinton, because he can't escape the grievances that he is holding on to. And that's why when Kamala Harris says we're not going back, it's not just about 4 years ago or even the 40 years ago that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance want to push us back to with Project 2025. We're not going back to Donald Trump in his grievance-ridden, angry mind, because that's what it all is all about for him, is his personal vendettas, his individual anger towards whoever it is in a given moment, his political adversaries that he wants to go after that is what he's focused on, the past, not the future. And that's why he's delivering ridiculous messages and really just begging for votes at this point, as we can see right here.
Vote for Donald Trump. What the hell do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
What do you have to lose? I don't know, democracy, your rights, Social Security, Medicare. Do you want me to go on? I could keep rattling them off. And what type of closing message is that Kamala Harris is talking about the ways we can make sure our government is working for us and build a better future? Donald Trump says, I don't know, haven't you seen the worst of me? The contrast people really are. We serious? It's why she's blowing him out of the water. It's why Kamala Harris is surging more in the polls. And I continue to say this, and I'm surprised that I get to continue to say that another day, another bump in the polls, not because I don't expect Kamala Harris's message to resonate, but because it is so unfathomable, it is so historic, her rise, her meteoric rise in this election. But of course, Donald Trump is trying to lie about that. And that's why he brought up this poll right here.
And we just had some great polling come out. I think the most accurate poll over the last 8 or 9 years was Rasmussen. They just came out with a poll that we're 5 up. We're 5 up. 5 up. We should be 35 up, to be honest with you. But, you know, some people can't break an old habit. That's really what it is.
Ross Musk is by far the most conservative leaning of all the polls. And for that to be what Donald Trump is relying upon for his trusted source, when we actually see A-plus polls coming in with Kamala Harris up big in the most important swing states. And one of the most important that we saw was a poll out of Iowa that only had Donald Trump up 3 to 4 points a state that he won by a much bigger margin, showing that Kamala Harris is closing the gap in this race, and states that Donald Trump would absolutely win in a 2020 or 2016 election. But this one is different, and it's different because he is losing it. It is different because his messaging is so deranged. It is different because Kamala Harris is surging and inspiring hope and joy and unity across the country. Well, Donald Trump can't land a political blow on her. The only person it seems like for some reason, I'm sorry, I'm cracking up even saying this, that he could land a political blow on his Melania. He actually went after his own wife in this speech. Somehow this is where Donald Trump is. Let's just check it out.
Said to our great First Lady, who can draw a crowd? Did you watch me tonight on television, First Lady? People love our First Lady out there. Right? Go out and get a book. She just wrote a book. I hope she said good things about it. I don't know. I didn't. So busy. She just wrote a book called Melania. Go out and buy it. It's great. And if she says bad things about me, I'll call you all up and I'll say, don't buy it, get rid of it. No, but
Donald Trump admitting that I'm not surprised. Guy who doesn't read hasn't read her book. This is what the speeches are at this point. We're not even going to call them speeches. This is what these are, what the ramblings have come to. Again, Kamala Harris is expanding the map. Donald Trump is attacking his wife's memoir. Could we see a bigger contrast in this race? I don't think. So people, I really don't. It is so incredibly clear. And we're going to keep talking about it on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you're stuck around at the end, say hi in the comments. Drop a blue heart. And let me know if you also wouldn't read Melania's book. I'm sorry. It's just so funny. And until next time, I'll see you soon.